And it's this beautiful metaphor that's used throughout the Bible. And we've been looking at the story of Abraham, this ancient patriarch, thousands of years old. And there's a number of times where God consistently is saying, like, your children will be like the seeds, will be like seeds, will be like grains of sand. Keeps on using that analogy. And it's this beautiful idea that when we can come from a spiritual place, is that we become very abundant. In other words, like lots of good things start to grow in ways that are completely unanticipated, and it doesn't make the spiritual life the easy life. I want to be clear about that. I don't believe much in the prosperity gospel. I don't believe in it all, actually. That if we do this, we'll find health and wealth. That's a prosperity gospel. Joel Osteen, all that stuff. I don't believe that. I don't see that being the message that Jesus is offering us, but I do think he does offer us a message of abundance, and it's abundance that's in here, an abundance that's in our heart. So let's take a look at this line about seed. And this is from the book Secrets of Heaven, 2848. To put it another way, seed symbolizes those members of the human race who possess the faith that comes out of love for others, that is, spiritual people. The Lord also calls them seed and the children of the kingdom. And then it cites Matthew 13. The one who sows good seed is the son of humanity. The seeds are the children of the kingdom. It's that idea of sowing good seeds. And I really find that line, there's just a lot into it. Faith that comes out of love for other people. Like, that's the generative part. Generative. Well, let's dig into that a bit. Like, what is that generative part when we can really have sort of this core trust in God, and then very humbly, I made a note here, this idea that God's got this and I'm going to humbly come from love. God's got this and I'm going to humbly come from love. It's not sort of like, hey, God's got it, yippee skippy. No, this is God's got this, even in really hard circumstances. God's got this, and I'm going to come from love as humbly and as best as I can. I think that's what that's talking about. And that's the generative part of our lives. And it's this trust that maybe in the moment life does not make a lot of sense. I know definitely all of us on this call have had, if we just look at the isolated moment, the photograph of that moment, life made no sense in that moment. And yet maybe from a bigger picture, it's not even that it starts to make sense in a bigger moment. But maybe we get to that point, as Richard Rohr said, where we get it all belongs. That this hard time, this really tragic thing, it was part of my life experience for good and for ill. But it's part of my life experience. It's part of this journey home. It's part of this chapter in my life that has been important in a way. And again, like, I'd be so careful. I wouldn't ever want to say that God kind of has us lose people so that we can learn things or that he can make us better. It's not that at all. It's just, it is all part of life's experience. And it creates this depth of character, even in tragic circumstances, that we get to see people rally to over and over and over again. So what does this mean? Like, how does this sort of coming back to the seed analogy? Well, there was a beautiful one by Ken Kesey, I believe, was the one who said this, and I quote it a lot because I just think it's beautiful. He said, "You can count the number of seeds in the apple. You cannot count the number of apples in the seed." And I love that idea, right? That life, we break open an apple and you can pull out the seeds and count them all up. But if you plant those seeds, you have no idea how many apples that will grow into. No clue. And it's very much the parable of the sower. I think that's very much the way the spiritual life works, right? We look at this apple of life, and we pull the seeds out, we plant the seeds as best we can, and it really is, again, like, plow the field, leave the rest to grace. Like, that's what we do. We just kind of like, excuse me, we sort of just plow it and we allow God to do God's thing. And then it goes out there and it starts to come to fruition. And that, friends, is where we want to be. So the takeaway for this is pretty simple, but I think it's pretty profound, which is to plant good seeds, like just that simple, and do it from this spirit of trust. And it's trust that's not based on a conditional thing that we will plant a good seed with this person so that da 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 da. No, we're just going to plant good seed. We're gonna be kind to other people. We're going to be inquisitive. We're going to be curious. We're going to walk alongside somebody today who's having a hard time, and we're just going to trust that God's got it. Not that what we do will change things around, because most of the time it won't. But that very act is something that plants a seed. And seeds take a long time, but eventually those seeds do come to fruition. So our job is just to plant as many of them as possible. So that's the thought for today, friends. I hope that makes a lot of sense. Plant some seeds. Remember, you cannot count the number of apples in those seeds. See how that all goes moving forward. So with that, dear friends, let us take a little breath, and we're going to do our little meditation now. So I want to start out. Let's all get a big breath. Line from the Old Testament. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. Amen. All right, dear friends, let's give a little cheery hello to folks. All righty, dighty. Let's see what we got here. Oh my goodness, I'm so bad at this technology thing. All right, I'm going to comment there. Wishing you sunshine this weekend. Thank you, Sherry. We have a lot of beautiful sunshine this weekend down here. We're down in your old stomping ground of Maryland this weekend, and then headed back home Sunday morning to preach, which will be great. All right. Some more comments over there. Gene, good morning to you. I hope you're doing well. Chignone, amen. Love and blessing to you all. And same to you, my friend. So, friends, I'm wishing you all the very best. May God bless your journey, and we will see you on Sunday. Take care. Bye-bye.